We're at one of my favorite spots to eat and drink and hang. He's the executive chef at a place called the Crosby, and I'm joined today with Aron Habiger. Tell us about the Crosby for anyone who's never eaten or drank or been here before.
Crosby is a multifaceted type of a place where DJs, artists, locals come through, but something different for what Orange County has been. The food that we're doing is definitely a different take on what I would consider basically normal, like California cuisine, geared toward Japanese flavors and Japanese platings, done in a very experimental kind of way.
The first time that I had heard about the Crosby, really felt like a bunch of homies getting together and making a place that they imagine.
People always refer to us as like a hipster place.
Really like reviews?
I don't really, like everything is always mentioned, and I really honestly kind of don't know what that whole thing means, but I know from being here and experiencing it all the time that there's definitely a different group of people all the time.
So what inspired you to become a chef? What got you into the cooking world?
I started really late actually. I went to school when I was 27. I've always been cooking since I was a kid actually. My mom would come in and watch me watching like cooking shows and being like, why are you watching a cooking show? Like she just couldn't get it. And I was like 12 years old. At Christmas, my mom got me like an industrial style kitchen set with like the gnarly like kitchen whisk and like the kitchen spatula, and I was totally geeked out on all these things, and it didn't even correlate. I just really liked cooking. I started getting older, hated the job I was working on a radioactive pharmaceutical. 9 years I was doing that, and I literally was just sitting there one day and extremely upset that I wasn't doing or enjoying anything I was producing in my life, and I was cooking constantly on the weekends, spending way too much money on produce.
Wow.
And my girlfriend at the time was getting a little upset at me because I was spending a lot of money going to the store and feeding our friends coming over. And she was like, you probably should just go to school. This is probably what you should just do. And the rest is history, and Sally Mae is still trying to hunt me down.
I was telling Aron earlier, I used to work down the street from here when I worked at Ezekiel. And so, you know, during the time there, I didn't really have a place that I would always go because I had to commute back to LA.
Chris, Phil, two of the three owners, said that also in another interview once. So the majority of the time we end up going to LA and seeing half the people we know from Orange County out there, and there was not a place that felt like kind of had that LA vibe or even like an NYC vibe. This is a completely different slice of Orange County that people never get to see. You
gave me the wings. What's that dish called?
Those are so we've never done hot wings before here, and people kept asking me to do hot wings.
Right.
Make sure you should do hot wings. It's like a bar food. Like, I'm down to do hot wings, but we got to do them completely different. So we braise our hot wings for about an hour and a half in like beer and some chicken stock, Vietnamese kind of Thai sauce.
Right.
A lot of Nook Mom, Thai chili, cilantro, basil.
Those wings are crack. Like they're crack. They're so good.
What's up?
Chefs from other like really notable places will come in and talk about your food.
So the word and the buzz kind of started slowly happening in and throughout like the kitchen scene. Slowly but surely these chefs started slowly kind of trickling in, and I knew who these cats were, and I've eaten at these guys' restaurants for years. So when they start walking through the front door, my first initial thing is to walk up and greet them and let them know that I basically that recognize who they are.
You know who they are, right?
And I'm happy that they're coming in to eat. I hope what happens. San Francisco's a great food town. Portland's an awesome food town.
Yes.
New York, Chicago, all these places, but the thing that all these places have in common is that these chefs are very close knit together and they talk to each other more and more.
I feel like that shows growth. I have a whole separate channel where I just talk about fashion and stuff, and people say, why would you give advice to other people who are competing against you? And it's like, well, one thing, I've been doing it way too long, but another thing is community. Like I really believe in community. So for another chef to go, hey, you come over to my restaurant, bring your whole team.
Now I think it's understood that there's obviously more than enough people that can go to every one of these places and still keep everybody in business.
Everyone's gonna get hungry. That's the great thing about food and eating and stuff.
Exactly.
You've worked a lot with Obey.
Shepherd Ferry's obviously come through and dropped a couple DJ sets. Definitely a friends and family type thing.
Yeah.
And our first like Crosby shirt that came out was a limited edition.
Nice.
Obey and Crosby like design. You're not gonna be able to buy that in Japan. You're not gonna be able to buy it in a store. The only place was to get it here, so that was kind of a cool feature thing.
How can people find out about Crosby or tell you that the food is wonderful after they've eaten here?
Our website, thisisthecrosby.com. I have a Facebook, just Aron Habiger.
Okay.
And then I also I blast pictures on Instagram. It's just Aron the Chef.
From the bottom of my heart, like, thank my guest, Aron. Thanks for being on the show. And
always.
Another episode of FNN. Thanks for clicking on it, guys. Go Aaron. Go Aaron. Aaron's awesome. Look at his tats. Badass motherfucker.
That's Crosby logo. That's for life right there. Sure, like only like 5 people are gonna see this.
Okay,
so it's okay.
Yeah, probably not.
Junior is an awesome cameraman.
What?
Yeah.
Camera's finest.